Ebro Darden just revealed something that changes everything we thought we knew about Drake's mental state after the Kendrick beef.
So Aubrey has decided to pop out again on some bullshit.
Drake out here talking spicy, boy.
Drake!
Brand new Drake feud has just dropped, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the air horns.
Turns out this Kendrick-Drake beef last year did a lot of damage that we have no clue about.
Y'all gotta stop this Jew-on-Jew violence, man, because he talking crazy to Ebro.
Drake, you out of all people cannot afford to threaten nobody.
What happened to having a good old-fashioned rap battle? Win or lose, everybody shakes hands and moves on with their day. If nobody died and everybody still has money, what are we still angry for?
A direct message sent at 3:30 in the morning. 3 words that expose more about Drake's psychology than any diss track ever could. Die slower. We got some shit for you. This isn't just a threat. This is a window into the mind of someone who's been completely broken by defeat. This is what happens when the biggest artist in the world realizes he's not untouchable anymore. This is Drake at 3:30 a.m., unable to sleep, consumed by rage, lashing out at anyone who dared to question him. And the timing, the target, the desperation behind it, it all proves one thing. Kendrick Lamar didn't just win a rap beef, he broke Drake's mind. Let me show you exactly what happened, why it matters, and what it reveals about the psychological aftermath of the most decisive rap battle victory in hip-hop history. To understand why Drake sent that message, you need to understand the relationship between Drake and Ebro Darden, because this isn't just about one DM. This is about years of tension, years of criticism, and years of Drake's ego being challenged by someone he couldn't control. Ebro Darden has been a fixture at Hot 97 for over a decade. He's been the host of Ebro in the Morning, one of the most influential radio shows in hip-hop. And unlike most media personalities who kiss up to superstars, Ebro has consistently challenged Drake's artistry, his authenticity, and his place in hip-hop culture. The tension started in the mid-2000s when Drake was ascending to become the biggest name in rap. Ebro was one of the few mainstream voices willing to question Drake's dominance, his pop direction, and his relationship to real hip-hop culture. In 2016, things escalated. Drake was performing at Madison Square Garden and told the crowd that if Hot 97 fired Funk Flex, he'd come do their show. It was a power play, an attempt to control the narrative and force the station to bend to his will. Ebro and his crew defended Funk Flex on air, essentially telling Drake that they wouldn't fire their DJ just because he said so. From that moment, the relationship was hostile. Drake treated Hot 97 as beneath him, and Ebro positioned himself as one of the few people willing to publicly challenge the biggest artist in the world. Over the years, Ebro consistently critiqued Drake's artistry. He questioned the ghostwriting allegations, he challenged Drake's pop-leaning moves, and during the Kendrick beef, he argued that Drake and his fan base don't truly care about hip-hop culture. Drake hated this. He's used to media personalities kissing his ring, praising his success, treating him like royalty. But Ebro wouldn't play that game, and that drove Drake crazy. Then Hot 97 abruptly canceled Ebro in the Morning. The official reason was corporate restructuring, but Ebro and his co-host suggested it was related to Ebro's outspoken politics and willingness to challenge powerful figures. When the news broke, Drake dropped a hatchet emoji in the comments of an Instagram post about the cancellation, a clear celebration of Ebro's downfall, a victory lap over someone who had dared to criticize him. But that wasn't enough for Drake, because at 3:30 a.m., just hours before the show was officially canceled, Drake sent Ebro a direct message: die slower.
All because somebody had opinions about you? Is that it, really?
That boy Drake has been fighting for his life for the last 2 years, and today he's got a new foe.
It's bad enough that you already popping out dissing people, trying to get your little revenge and all of that. But as far as threats, You probably don't want to do that.
But all jokes aside, Drake, you have much more pressing matters like catching a new hit, and you're devoting too much time to shenanigans and not enough time to bars, especially after we heard Mystery Coupe and those Cat in the Hat bars.
We all know that Ebro, their show is no longer going to be on the air because Ebro has been critical of Drake. Obviously, the OVO brigade, this is their time to shine, right?
So Drake and his fans, they were celebrating and shit like that.
I do want to remind y'all, listen, we are talking about a 39-year-old Drake here, a 39-year-old Aubrey Graham.
I think Drake is just trying to get him a victory somewhere.
I need the max win.
Now, tonight, we get to finding out that Drake is still really pissed off at Ebro. Not just because of his commentary during his battle with Kendrick last year, but also because earlier this year, Ebro called him a sickness to the game.
Is not that important. Kendrick, the reason Drake's in this is because he is a sickness in the game. It could have been any artist. It's what Drake represents. We've been saying this for months.
And I'm going to tell you why it had so much impact when Ebro said it's because more voices is listening to him because, hey, it's the radio. Now, if your average person, average reaction channel, somebody who, do YouTube, he wouldn't have said nothing, you know what I mean? But Drake, that really angered him.
I think Drake has just in the last couple years became a little bit disease-ish. But I don't know if I call him a disease to hip-hop, but he's been a goofy for the last 2 years.
Drake had to drop this axe on the post when Ebro was in the car, the whip, talking about the reason he thought he was let go. And he believed it's because some political shit. Other folks like, nah, bro, y'all just ain't performing well. Especially in comparison to competition. The competition is just growing. Y'all getting smaller and smaller.
Think about what this reveals. Drake wasn't just celebrating Ebro's cancellation, he was actively threatening him. At 3:30 in the morning, when most people are asleep, when your guard is down and your real thoughts come out. Now let's talk about why Drake is spiraling, because this DM isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern of behavior that started after Kendrick destroyed him in the biggest rap battle of the decade. May 2024, Kendrick Lamar releases Not Like Us and ends Drake's career as we knew it. The song becomes a cultural phenomenon. It plays at parties, at sporting events, at the Super Bowl. The entire culture sides with Kendrick. Drake's reputation as the untouchable king of rap is shattered. And Drake, he can't handle it. For over a decade, Drake has been the biggest artist in the world. He's been used to universal praise, commercial dominance. He's been the guy everyone wants to work with. But Kendrick changed all of that. Kendrick exposed Drake's weaknesses, questioned his authenticity, and turned the culture against him. And for someone whose entire identity is built on being the biggest and the best, that's devastating. So Drake started lashing out at media personalities who criticized him, at podcasters who questioned him, at anyone who dared to suggest that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't as untouchable as he thought. The Ebro DM is just the latest example, but it's the most revealing one.
Ebro revealed that Drake DM'd him on Instagram last night, and the damn sure was not to offer him sympathy after losing his job at Hot 97.
So those are old messages from them.
Learn to sleep each night, change your life, and improve your life. Trust me. So I guess this one, it was cool right here. As y'all can see, Drake like ignoring people. We seen DMs with him and Academics as well, where Academics had reached out to him, probably said something to him, and he didn't respond. You can see the same pattern right here.
And here's Aubrey at 3:30 a.m.
I would definitely chuckle if I ever got a DM from Drake like that and suggest him to take some magnesium because he's obviously not sleeping well.
3:30 a.m. Aubrey says,
"Die slower, pussy. We got some shit for you."
Don't look away now. Don't get shy now.
These are probably not the things you want to be sending out if you're actually going to do anything. But again, the guy hasn't been the best with strategy over the past year and a half.
Ebro replies
and says, "Relax. You're salty about losing to Kendrick. You're not mad at me. Love, bro."
No, it's a good response. Honestly, I think it's great.
Now, I think Ebro is trying to take the more responsible approach, trying to be a little bit more mature about the situation.
I don't know what else. What else do you say for this guy?
To me, this is definitely the best response for any message like this.
That's a really good response.
Why are you mad at me? Because I don't agree with you. I don't align with you.
He's not mad at me. Why would you be mad at me? Mad at me for what?
No, stop. He's definitely mad at you, and he's been mad at you. Why?
He's 100% mad at you.
Yes.
Why would he send that?
Mad at me for what?
Honestly,
What did I do?
And you surpassed
It's
me.
literally, it's the most loose DM he's ever sent you. That's crazy.
Yeah, so this is the pattern with Drake. Drake like when everybody's just supporting him. He has that me spirit.
This guy is literally spiraling and doing all the things that you would tell somebody who's about to jump into some lame activity not to do.
No, that's. And by the way, if I were you, I would do what Drake would do.
Sue.
Yup. Hey, we got some shit. What? Oh, he threatened me. Oh yeah, that's a threat.
Men will sue their asses for defamation.
And I haven't. He's a very powerful mob boss as related to his lyrics. He has ties to people. We should sue.
He would have slimed anybody for Drake. And now fast forward 5 years later, Drake wants him to die slow. Yikes.
Way whispering, die slow. The last word you hear. Drake ain't never say die slow until Pusha T said it.
Feels like a threat.
Oh shit.
Hey, feels like a threat. Yo, die.
It feels like a threat.
He said die, and then we got some shit for you. I'm going to court like you, Drizzy. I'm going to court.
Drake ain't never say die slow until Pusha T said it. He said, damn, I can't think of no shit like that. Now he using Pusha T lyrics in his everyday life like how we do. He using the Clips lyrics in their everyday life just how we do. Drake ain't never say die slow. He like, I want to say that shit. Die slower, pussy.
Die slower is crazy.
Die slower, meow.
This is why I'm telling y'all, this shit will never end because he put the icing on the lame cake. It's like he had a whole cake of lame, right? The cake wasn't ready. He said, nah, let me put the icing on that shit. Let me go sue in hip hop. He put the icing on the cake. Ain't nobody made that cake for you, dog. You made that shit on your own time.
Crazy.
No, by the way, bro, what's wrong with you? And that goes right back to the things I was saying in 2016. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You are not that. Stop.
And that's him saying that. That's him. This is Rosenberg. He's saying that. This ain't no gangster saying that. He said, bro, you not like that.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I know, I'm not saying you don't know hard people, but stop it. You are not that. Stop.
Hey, yo, he said, you're not like that, buddy.
And guess what? Ebro is not from the streets. Ebro is not trying to claim the streets. So if he does feel threatened, guess who's going to have this? And actually, guess who already does it? Obviously, the police.
Alright, so Rosenberg said, don't be this gangster. Be like me. Be like the other Jewish guys like me. We are visitors to this culture. Just chill on out, bro. Don't perpetuate violence.
Again, Drake hasn't made the smartest of moves, but why would you go and say something? Because all this is going to do is just have suspicion pointed at you if, God forbid, something ever does happen. This is not what you want to be texting.
You probably don't want to do that because I just read something that says Drake named as possible suspect by defense in XXXTentacion's.
Because it shows Drake at his most vulnerable, his most desperate, his most broken. Let's talk about that 3:30 a.m. timestamp, because that detail tells us everything we need to know about Drake's mental state. 3:30 in the morning. Most people are asleep. It's the time when your thoughts are darkest, when your insecurities are loudest, when your irrational mind shuts down and your emotions take over. Drake is lying in bed, unable to sleep, consumed by thoughts of everyone who's wronged him, everyone who's criticized him, everyone who's dared to question his greatness. And Ebro is on that list. So he picks up his phone and sends a threatening message to a radio host. Not during business hours, not when he's thinking clearly. At 3:30 a.m., when his guard is down and his true feelings are exposed. This is what insomnia looks like. This is what obsession looks like. This is what happens when someone who's used to being in control realizes they've lost that control completely. Kendrick didn't just beat Drake in a rap battle. He got inside his head. He made Drake question everything about himself, his artistry, his place in hip-hop. And now, Drake can't sleep because he's too busy thinking about everyone who's ever criticized him. That 3:30 a.m. timestamp is proof that Kendrick broke Drake's mind. Now let's analyze the message itself. Die slower, we got some shit for you. 4 words that reveal everything about Drake's psychology in this moment. Die slower. Not just die, but die slower. Drake wants Ebro to suffer. He wants him to experience pain, humiliation, defeat over an extended period. This isn't just anger. This is sadistic pleasure in someone else's downfall.
On a live trial.
Street dudes shouldn't be out there talking about catching bodies or what they're going to do to you, etc., because guess what? You're going to get caught.
If I'm Ebro right now, I'm getting 24/7 security. I'm not taking any chances, especially when Drizzy Drake the Demon is sending threats to you.
It says the defense mentioned a social media post in which XXX warned that Drake would be responsible.
This just gives off lame, especially for somebody who is supposed to be a superstar at 39 years old and supposed to be at the top of the game. How are you doing things like this?
How? 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 I don't know.
The cops have the same internet we do. Obviously, Drake is probably just referring to Ebro's career. But yeah, it's going to look kind of crazy if this ever gets brought up in court because something happens to Ebro.
If you don't speak in that manner when you gonna make a call. Don't speak in that manner when you gonna tap a shoulder and say, hey, go do that. Unless you are the one who gonna show up at somebody's door, stop talking like that.
Drake is trying to emasculate Ebro, to make him feel weak and powerless. This is classic bullying behavior, attacking someone's masculinity when you feel your own has been questioned. We got some shit for you. The use of we is interesting. Drake is trying to make himself sound more powerful, more connected, more dangerous than he actually is. He's implying that he has a team, a network, resources that Ebro should be afraid of. But here's what's really revealing about this message. It's the language of someone who feels powerless, trying to sound powerful. It's the desperate threat of someone who's been exposed and humiliated and is lashing out at anyone he can reach. This isn't the message of a confident superstar. This is the message of someone who's been broken and is trying to break others to make himself feel better. Let's look at the pattern of Drake's behavior since the Kendrick beef, because the Ebro DM isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a larger pattern of Drake only targeting people he perceives as weak or vulnerable. After Kendrick destroyed him, Drake didn't respond with better music. He didn't come back with a devastating diss track. He didn't prove his critics wrong through artistry. Instead, he started going after media personalities, podcasters, radio hosts, people who can't really fight back in the same way another rapper could. He's been taking shots at Joe Budden, at academics, at Vlad, at anyone in the media who's criticized him. But notice who he's not going after. Other rappers. Other artists who could respond with music. Drake is picking on people he thinks are safe targets, people who don't have the platform or the ability to hurt him the way Kendrick did. The Ebro situation is the perfect example. Ebro is a radio host, not a rapper. He can't respond with a diss track. He can't mobilize the culture against Drake the way Kendrick did. He's a relatively safe target for Drake's rage. But even then, Drake had to wait until Ebro was already down, until his show was canceled, to really go after him. He couldn't even threaten Ebro when Ebro was at full strength. He had to wait until Ebro was vulnerable. This is the behavior of a bully, not a king. This is what cowardice looks like when it's dressed up as power. Now let's talk about the psychology of what losing does to someone like Drake. Because to understand why he sent that DM, you need to understand what defeat means to someone whose entire identity is built on winning. Drake has been the biggest artist in the world for over a decade. His entire sense of self is tied to that success, that dominance, that feeling of being untouchable. He's not just a rapper who happens to be successful. He's someone whose identity is completely wrapped up in being the best. So when Kendrick beat him, it wasn't just a professional loss. It was an existential crisis. It challenged everything Drake believed about himself, his talent, his place in the world. Psychologists call this narcissistic injury, when someone with an inflated sense of self is confronted with evidence that contradicts their self-image. The response is often rage, denial, and lashing out at anyone who threatens their fragile ego. Drake can celebrate Ebro's cancellation all he wants. He can send threatening messages to media personalities. He can try to bully his way back to relevance. But everyone can see what's really happening, and he's not handling it well. The biggest artist in the world reduces sending threatening DMs to radio hosts at 3:30 in the morning. That's not power. That's desperation. And it's exactly what Kendrick predicted would happen when he said Drake wasn't like us. Because real kings don't need to threaten radio hosts. Real kings don't celebrate other people's downfall. Real kings don't send desperate messages in the middle of the night. Real kings just make better music. And Drake sends DMs at 3:30 a.m. That tells you everything you need to know about who really won this battle.